welcome to News at 6, live from the studios of Kana Radio on Facebook. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel as Kana TV. I am Ahianyo Bless Ayam and I'm here with my colleague
Deliverance Ashiabi.
Let's take a look at the top stories. Russian military invades Ukraine with missiles after President Putin declared war on TV, leaving dozens of people injured.
The member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, threatens if NPP jokes, I'll release Anas videos and collapse the party.
NPP's lawyer Justice Justin Frimpong Kodia calls for unity ahead of party election.
In the Ashanti region, Kumasi, some drivers reluctantly accept the 15% fare increment, wanted 30%.
It's too early to evacuate our students from Ukraine.
President Akufo-Addo gives assurance for Commander Sugar Factory to start production.
Now the stories in detail. Russian military invades Ukraine with missiles after President Vladimir Putin declared war on Wednesday, February 23, 2022 on TV, leaving dozens of people injured. French President Emmanuel Macron has smacked into Russia's military strikes in Ukraine and has called Moscow to end them immediately. Shortly after Putin's declaration, explosions were reported in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and several other cities in the country. Ukrainian border guards reported being under attack along the Russian and Belarusian frontiers. President Zelensky has declared martial law and said Russia was attacking his country's military infrastructure, but urged citizens not to panic and vowed victory. Meanwhile, Ukraine's foreign minister said the worst-case scenario was playing out. The Russia-Ukraine war is an ongoing and protracted conflict that started in February 2014, basically involving Russia and pro-Russian forces on one hand and Ukraine on the other. The war has centered on the status of Crimea and part of the Donbas, which are internationally recognized as part of Ukraine. Tensions between Russia and Ukraine erupted especially from 2021 to 2022, when it became apparent that Russia was considering launching a military invasion of Ukraine. In February 2022, the crisis deepened with diplomatic talks, with Russia failing and escalated as Russia moved forces into the separatist controlled regions on 22nd February 2022.
Into another story where the member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, has declared investigative journalist Anas Arimiyao Anas into his recent fracas with New Patriotic Party's communications director, Yao Boaben Asamoah. Ejapon has threatened the party and leading members to desist from impressing on him to treat issues he is raising public as internal matters. He is angry at the position because he insists that such internal matters have had a toll on his health and accuse him to miss a medical review slated for January 2022. The Asin Central MP reminded the NPP that was still in possession of incriminating videos he has intercepted from Anas Arimiyao Anas, which these videos are aimed at bringing the government to its knees in 2018. He alleged that leading members had impressed on him to avoid publishing the said videos of the adverse political effect. He spoke of a relationship between Boaben Asamoah in particular as an ally of Anas and his board, Abdul Malik Kweku Baku, who he accused of working against the interests of the NPP party. If Boaben Asamoah speaks again, I'll release Anas videos. The NPP leaders, I am advising them to stay away from that. No one should tell me it's borders on internal matters. If you tell me that, it means I'm stupid because I need to go on review on 28th of January. Today is 23rd February, he noted yesterday. This is your internal matters that we are not talking about, and that is also having effect on my health. It is affecting my health. You don't want anybody to know the problem the NPP party is encountering from its own MPs. If that is the case, when I go for review, I will not come back.
Into another story. General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodua, has called for unity ahead of party upcoming internal elections. The NPP is preparing to elect its new polling station executives and electoral area coordinators, which will pave way for the election of constituency, regional and national executives to steer the affairs of the party for election 2024. In a statement, lawyer Frimpong Kodua extended his well wishes to all aspirants and advised them to cautious of their actions and utterances in order not to threaten the unity of the party. He appealed to the aspirants to eschew behaviors which may be detrimental to the party during the main campaign in 2024. The governing New Patriotic Party opened nominations for the election of polling station executives and electoral area coordinators from February 19th to 21st February 2021.
Into another story, that is business. Some drivers in Kumasi Wednesday said the 15% increment in lorry fares did not meet their expectations, but expressed the hope that it would somehow cushion them to meet their daily sales. Though the transport unions were agitating for a 30% increase, they have agreed to the 50% following series of negotiations with the government. They said the negative effect of the fuel price increment was such that almost all their daily sales were used to buy fuel and appealed to passengers to accept the new fare to ensure peace. The government, together with the various transport groups on Monday, announced a 15% increase in transport fares, effective Saturday, that is the 26th day of February this year. According to the drivers, the increment was necessary to help them stay in business after frequent increase in the prices of petroleum products and spare parts. Mr. Francis Ibo, the secretary at the Oginga station at the Asafo Lorry Terminal, told the Ghana News Agency that the increment was necessary to prevent transport owners and drivers from going bankrupt. He said transport operators had on several occasions asked government to remove some taxes and levies on petroleum products to help stabilize the export price, but they had not been materialized. Thus, transport operators had no option but to increase lorry fares to enable them maintain their business as prices of spare parts and lubricants, among other items, has also shot up, he said.
Away from that story, the Member of Parliament for Anyanso, Dr. Dixon Adomako-Kisi, has said evacuating Ghanaian students from Ukraine at this point is too early, following the war between country and Russia. Ukraine's military say about 50 Russian forces have been killed and 60 warplanes destroyed amid fighting in the country's east. Speaking to Joy News, Dr. Adomako-Kisi has said it will be better to wait for steps world leaders would take before the thought of any evacuation. He indicated that when other countries start to evacuate their students, then there will be a window for Ghana to do same in Ukraine if need be. He added that the question about evacuation should be posed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as the ministry on the way forward on the matter. His words come just some hours after the National Union of Ghanaian Students appealed to the government to evacuate students stranded in Ukraine as a result of attacks by Russia. The union asked governments to deploy the same evacuation method used during the peak of COVID-19 to evacuate Ghanaian students studying in Ukraine. Meanwhile, some Ghanaian students have already landed in Ghana from Ukraine as a result of attack, according to them. Other foreign nationals have heard their leaders, but with the silence of Ghana, they had to make their own choice to return.
Into another story where the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has urged people that the Commander Sugar Factory will start production. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has assured the chiefs and people of Commander that the controversial sugar factory will start production by April. He says civil works on the project are scheduled to be completed by the end of March, assuring that production will begin the following month. President Akufo-Addo gives this assurance on Wednesday, February 23rd, when some chiefs and elders from Commander Traditional Area called on him at the Jubilee House in Accra. He further assured them that, despite the controversy surrounding the factory, particularly the claim by the previous government that the work had completed before they left office, efforts have been put in place to make it viable. He says some 2,000-acre land has been leased at Waso Fiase in the western region for the production of the raw materials for the factory. Compensation, the president indicated, it will also be given to those properties that will be destroyed to make way for the road from the sugarcane plantation factory. The $35 million factory, built from an Indian Exim Bank facility, has not been in operation since its commissioning in 2016. Coming up is entertainment news.
Corner Radio. Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked right here. Corner Radio.
Welcome to the entertainment segment. Our headlines: Zion Felix render apology over tribalistic comments. Ungrateful artists must be blocked from the industry. Mr. Logic. Shatta Wale and I are now strangers. Michi disclose. The stories in detail. Ghanaian blogger Zion Felix has issued an apology for his tribalistic comments whilst interviewing UK-based Ghanaian sound engineer Nectus. But responding to the troll, Zion Felix recorded a video of himself saying, "I'm sorry to all those who felt offended, especially my Ewe brothers and sisters. It was never my intention to look down on anyone, group of people or language." Moving away from that story, speaking on Hit FM this morning, an agitated Mr. Logic stated that artists expressing ungratefulness towards their respective management must be blocked from all access within the industry. The Ghanaian music industry has been faced within several situations whereby artists have part ways with their management but running contracts with their various management. Currently, unconfirmed reports have it that rapper Black Sherif has brought his business with his current management after alleged labeled surface. Moving into our last story, Michi, the mother of Shatta Wale's son, has disclosed that there is a current no form of communication or relationship between her and the dancehall musician. Michi, during an interview on Hit FM, Andy Dusty emphasized that she and Shatta now act like strangers. This was after she was asked about her current relationship with the Shatta movement boss.
And this ends the news at 6. A recap of our top stories.
Russia military invades Ukraine with missiles after President Putin declared war on TV, leaving dozens of people injured.
The Member of Parliament for Assin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, threatens, if NPP jokes, I will release announced videos and collapse the party. You can follow us on Facebook as Kana Radio and YouTube as Kana TV. My name is Deliverance Asheb, but I was here with my colleagues.
Ahianya Bless Aram and
Inu Sarahina too.
Have a good evening.